What's up, everybody? Crypto Noah back with another video. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys a strategy on how to manage your portfolio like an institution so you can pretty much guarantee that you win long term and most likely year over year. That strategy is rebalancing. Now, I've talked about rebalancing in a lot of my yield farming videos, a lot of my videos in general, but in this video, we're going to be talking about rebalancing specifically. We're going to talk about what rebalancing is, how to go about it, my rebalancing schedule, and when I break my rebalancing rules. Okay? So before we get started, I do have to say none of this is financial advice. These are my own perspectives, my own research, and my own opinions, and they should be treated as such. Always do your own research, okay? So to start, what is rebalancing? Well, to answer that, we have to talk about balancing first as it pertains to a portfolio. So when you're creating a portfolio, you want to have it sectioned off with assets, cash, and if you're yield farming, yield farming. And I've talked about yield farming in the channel a lot. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a way to get a yield on your assets via staking, borrowing, and lending, staking your funds on platforms like Nexus Mutual to get passive income for facilitating insurance premiums. And then you have staking your funds on decentralized exchanges, which allows you to get paid anytime someone swaps the pair that you provide liquidity in. For example, ETH/USDC. Anytime someone swaps from ETH/USDC or USDC to ETH, you're getting paid passively. So you want to have a section of your portfolio in cash, assets, and yield farming. This is what I do. And in this video, we're talking about a crypto portfolio. You can take this and look at rebalancing as it pertains to your whole multi-asset portfolio, your stock portfolio. But in this one, we're just going to be talking about crypto. And if you want me to make a video on those other ones, let me know in the comments, okay? So basically, right now, I'm in 20% cash, 25% of my portfolio is used for yield farming, 30% is in ETH, and I have 25% in different altcoins with a small section of that in high-risk altcoins. Very, very small section. So when I go to rebalance, I'm basically going to make sure those numbers are what I just said, because on a monthly basis, which is my rebalance schedule, those things change. My yield farming percentage of the portfolio might represent 30%, might represent 15%, depending on what's happening. If everything's dropping, my cash position might be worth 30, 40. So now I get to deploy for cheap. And rebalancing basically forces you to buy low and sell high, literally. I'll give you an example. Like, people always say, you want to hold at least 10% of your portfolio in gold. These hedge funds, they rebalance on a monthly, quarterly basis or yearly, depending on their strategy. So let's say you want 10% of your portfolio in gold. And let's say gold goes up 50%. So now your portfolio represents, 14% gold. So in order to get it back down to 10, you have to sell it for a profit, right? Let's say gold drops 20% or whatever. Now, instead of the gold portion of your portfolio representing 10%, let's say it represents 7. Now you're forced to buy gold cheap. And doing this over and over and over again, your portfolio literally has to grow. Like, it literally has to, okay? So how did I go about determining my cash weight, my asset weight, my yield farming weight, my ETH weight, my alt weight? Conviction. I like to say research breeds conviction, conviction breeds patience, and patience builds wealth. So it's just what I'm comfortable with. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. Like, I could have my cash position at 30. In bearish conditions, I have a larger cash position. In more bullish conditions, I like to have more funds deployed into the market. So it kind of changes. And, my yield farming portion is what it is because I'm literally just able to print money. So now, how do I go about determining how often I should rebalance? I told you guys I rebalance on a monthly basis. Why is that? Well, one, I do all my yield farming inside of my hedge fund. So my investors get monthly statements. So that's probably the biggest reason. And I'm going to talk about something else in the end on how I have like a separate portfolio. But crypto moves so fast. Like, every time I go to rebalance at the end of the month, things are always off weight. Every time. There's never been a time where I was like, oh, everything is exactly what it was. So incrementally, you get little small wins. And when you compound that over a lifetime, because, you can invest forever. It keeps your mind sharp. Like, you're never too old to invest, right? You're doing all this research. It helps you prevent dementia and Alzheimer's because you're using your brain. So you're going to probably invest for the rest of your life, or at least you should, right? Other things that can go into determining how often you should rebalance is your age and your time frame. And when I say time frame, like, do you need the money right now? Are you like in a rush to get profits now. Like, it's two kinds of investors mainly. You have investors that like small amounts of profits more often, or large amounts of profit less often. If you're of the latter, you probably want to rebalance less frequently. If you like small profits more often, you probably want to rebalance more often. So a part of this is knowing what kind of investor you actually are, right? And if you just have the money and you don't really care about up and down, like you just want to hold long term, maybe rebalance on a yearly basis or on a quarterly basis or on a bi-yearly basis, if that's a word. Now, let's talk about, when do I break my rebalancing schedule? Like, when would make me rebalance more frequently than a month? And the answer is very simple: high volatility. Like, for example, I remember Pendle 7x after we called it out in November. And in a month, it went up like, I forget, 400% or something like that maybe. So I wanted to take profits. I don't want to have to wait to the end of the month, because what if it dropped? And then when I go to rebalance, it goes back up and I left money on the table. And you don't even have to rebalance like the whole portfolio. What I did was I just sold that Pendle for profit. And then when it was time to rebalance, my cash portion was larger. So then I was able to go and rebalance. So if it's high volatility moments, like you have something in your portfolio and it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 X's, and you have, a couple weeks or months, you still have to rebalance, it may be a good idea to take some profits, and then you can still bring your portfolio back to equilibrium once it's time for you to rebalance, whatever your schedule is that you choose. So lastly, this is important. If you don't want to rebalance all of your funds, which is not a bad idea, like, it's good to have a long-term bag where you like, oh, I'm not selling this for a year, 5 years, 10 years, right? Time in the market versus time in the market. I say it all the time. So you can do both. Have a portion of your portfolio, some ETH that you're not selling until it hits 15K or 20K, no matter how long that is, right? You can do that. But rebalancing is just going to help it grow incrementally. But having that long-term bag, that is what's going to let it grow exponentially and a lot more. But it just takes a longer time. Like, just think about if you invested into Facebook or Google or Amazon on the day of their IPO, and where it would be now if you invested, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K. You'll be a super millionaire, right? Multi-millionaire. So this way you get the best of both worlds. I'm not going to sing the Hannah Montana verse, but you get the picture. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you want to learn how to manage your portfolio like a professional, with professional coaches and high quality members who all have each other's best interests at heart, we have a 13-hour yield farming course that teaches you literally everything that I talk about on the channel in chronological order. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert. And we have all the tools in-house that you need in order to be a successful investor. If that sounds like it's up your alley, click the link in the description, book a free strategy session. You'll talk to me. I'll answer all your questions regarding yield farming, crypto investing, etc. We'll ultimately see if the platform's a good fit for you. If it's not, hey, at least we got to have a good conversation. But other than that, I'd like to wrap this video up. If you got value, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know what video you want me to make next. But other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love every single one of you watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.